and captions. Oh, and I got to turn this music is a little bit loud today. Here we go. Okay, so we are continuing in the Song of Prayer, chapter 2, section 2, the forgiveness to destroy. And I'm going to start us off with a prayer. So I'm placing my hands on my heart and taking that deep cleansing breath of love and gratitude. So grateful for this time we get to come together each week, and for the love and the blessings and compassion that we get to share with each other, all the ahas and the insights and the learning that we are receiving from our experience in this seeming world. We're grateful for our willingness and our dedication and devotion to letting go of any and all blocks to love, whether it's a seeming physical letting go, an emotional letting go, a spiritual letting go, just knowing that as we let go, we are opening our hands to receive the all good of God, the kingdom of heaven that is our inheritance. We are grateful for our mighty companions, our earthly and heavenly helpers. We ask that they join us now, surrounding and supporting us and blessing all those here, all who will listen later, blessing our conversation, allowing it to be a healing balm for all. And we're grateful to share those blessings and the love that we are with everyone, as we are one with them. In grace and gratitude, we let it be. And so it is. Amen. So as I said, we're in Song of Prayer, chapter 2, section 2, forgiveness to destroy. And I'm going to start us with sentence 5 of paragraph 7 and all of 8. Within the world of opposites, there is a way to use forgiveness for the goal of God and find the peace he offers you. Take nothing else, or you have sought your death and prayed for separation from yourself. Christ is for all because he is in all. It is his face forgiveness lets you see. It is his face in which you see your own. All forms of forgiveness, all forms forgiveness takes that do not lead any way from anger, that do not lead away from anger. Let me start that sentence over. Distractions. All forms forgiveness takes that do not lead away from anger, condemnation, and comparison of every kind are death. For that is what their purposes have set. Be not deceived by them, but lay them by as worthless in their tragic offerings. You do not want to stay in slavery. You do not want to be afraid of God. You want to see the sunlight and the glow of heaven shining on your face, of earth redeemed from sin and in the love of God. From here is prayer released along with you. Your wings are free, and prayer will lift you up and bring you home where God would have you be. I loved reading that because all of the different ways that he was talking about how forgiveness to destroy can, the different forms that it can take. It can be very subtle, and I wasn't always connecting with all of what I was reading in the paragraphs before the end. But when he wrapped it up like this, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. So honestly, even if I can't see how I'm choosing forgiveness to destroy in any given moment, I can still have the intention that I would like to have true forgiveness, and my heart and mind can be shifted in that way. So that's where I'm starting. Would anybody else like to share from the reading or anything else happening? Go ahead, Carla.
Well, it talks about being a jailer, and I was just looking at a quote from Mahatma Gandhi. A jailer is as much as a prisoner as his prisoner. We don't intend to be jailers, to jail ourselves or each other. We don't know. They don't know. People have gotten, and I guess I'll read. See if I remember if I can get it. I left it. Yeah. The first paragraph. Here it is. Forgiveness to destroy. Forgiveness to destroy has many forms. That's the first paragraph, first line. Being a weapon of the world of form. Not all of them are obvious, and some are carefully concealed beneath what seems like charity. Yet all the forms that may seem to take have this single goal. Their purpose is to separate and make what God created equal and different. Even in that, I can feel where something we call ego wants to hook me into judging myself for, look, this is what you do, this is what they do, this is pointing fingers, right? It's very challenging to notice that in our everyday experiences and thinking and believing what we think. I'm starting to get to that everyone is innocent. They just believe something is true that isn't true. And that's why they're doing stuff like, for example, oh, I'll pray for you. Like, I'm in need of it more than everybody else or something, or bless your soul. Like that is actually seems like such a sweet saying, but it's like saying, oh, your soul needs blessed or something, but it's very challenging to see judgment in any form is never helpful. To see that everything just that we experience is day-to-day life experiences, then the what we call the ego, the mind, a separate mind, whatever you want to call it, takes it and uses it as what I would say is as fodder to encourage its own agenda. And it's very challenging, I found, to see that when it seems really loving often, and if I look a little deeper, it's making one different than another. It's making me better, them worse, or, oh, I know that, but they don't know that. And so I'm not able to experience life in a way that is fully able to recognize and comprehend why I'm doing it. But I want to share, so I wasn't planning on sharing this, but it was given to me. When was it given to me? In July 4th, 2019. I called it the keys to enlightenment, or I didn't, but I was told. So this is my focus. To love as God loves. and to desire only that. To see love, only love, in each experience, and to respond to each experience with only love. To see only innocence in everything and everyone. To never believe the ego mind or the meaning the ego thought system gives visual appearances. To hold on to nothing. No grievance or ecstatic moment. I would never use that word. To be present to the now moment and only now. No thoughts of past or future. If any plans have no attachment to outcome, however it unfolds. To trust life. Trust love. Absolutely. To check into oneness, the higher self, truth, love, whatever you want to call it, before making any decisions. That's right. To be interested in supporting oneness above all personal interests. To put service to God and the God self above all else. I've changed about 2 words. But when I was given to me, I'm like, how can I ever do that? But the truth is, we are all doing that in our own journey of experience, of choice. And so that's what I really want to support within my own mind, is to see everyone and everything is innocent. And when I see that, that's how I respond. Innocence and love. It's so kind of, we don't plan, we think we plan our lives, but in truth, do we really? I've had so many experiences I would never, ever chosen. Breaking my femur, yet I see somehow those experiences brought me the perfect experiences and encoded in it to help me be willing. All it takes is a little willingness, and it'll grow on its own. Just focus on the willingness. The rest, don't worry about coming out. It's like, oh, can't do that, or they're not doing it. No, don't worry about it. It'll happen, whether it's this lifetime or another lifetime. Okay, that's enough. Thanks.
Thank you, Carla. It was beautiful.
So I was just kind of curious as you were reading a little bit earlier, and it crossed my mind about, using prayer for destruction. So when we pray for something to change, is that what we're doing in essence?
Yes, actually, yes. What I am learning, and sometimes reluctantly, with a lot of resistance, is that allowing myself to pray for gratitude for what is, and for seeing the truth of what is, and for knowing that it's for my highest good, for allowing my physical, emotional, spiritual, mental being to come to peace, with what is happening in any given moment with myself or anyone or anything around me, is way more helpful than praying for a specific thing, because we can't see through all dimensions of time and space. Only God has that omnipresence to do that. And it might be the very best thing that happened to us. And it might not feel like it. It might feel like it completely sucks, but everything is gently planned by one whose only interest is our good. So, coming to trust that is a powerful way to hold your prayers for yourself and others.
Yeah, I still struggle with that one.
Yeah, I bet. I do too. I do too. There are moments when I'm like, yeah, I'm all in. Okay, let's do it. And there are other times where I'm like, I don't know what you're thinking here, dude, because this is not cool.
Right.
I would really like things to be different. Yeah. So I completely understand that, Deborah. Just being honest, right? Being exactly where we are. Thank you for that share. Linda Kay.
First, I want to say, Carla, your share was so helpful with what I want to ask. And if it's possible to get a copy of your Keys to Enlightenment, I thought that was so, so beautiful and such great guidance. So my question was about, I think the ultimate is about forgiveness, but it's more the process of getting there. So if we have, how do I ask this? In my case, I have some, what I think are rather, they feel like big issues, whether they be past or present, that have never really, in my mind, been properly discussed. Like it would be fine for my partner to, well, we're just not going to talk about this. Well, when in my mind, there's some really big things that impact being in a relationship with someone else. Not talking about it does not bring me peace. It just brings me frustration and anguish and confusion. And it can also bring resentment. And so I mentioned this to a girlfriend, just very briefly. I said, if we're to be living in the now, should I not be going back to the past, seeking resolution on something that really bothers, concerns, disturbs me? And so I'm thinking of like my intention is healing something significant from the past, coming to some better understanding, or my better understanding of what my partner may have been thinking, or etc. And my friend said, oh, you're just thinking, that's new age thinking. And I'm thinking, that just threw me for a loop. I'm like, new age thinking? I don't think about the work that we do as new age work. However, this friend is deeper down the Jesus and Christian rabbit hole, such that all her friends are Christian friends. I guess I might be the non-Christian. I don't know what I am. I believe in Jesus. I just think it doesn't always fit the box. And I guess I don't worry about it. I like the work that we do about judgments. I love the work we do about forgiveness. The we are innocent. I'm like, oh my gosh, I never see my partner as innocent. I guess I must be seeing him as guilty if I'm not seeing him as innocent. But I'm just wondering, is any thoughts about going into resolution of the past? Is that simply my ego saying, I want to know it a certain way, and I want to talk this out, and I want to work it out, and I think it needs to be resolved, blah, blah, blah. My friend did say to me, I wrote down her response. She says, this is your ask to God. Do not be afraid. As soon as you make a decision about these so-called issues, you will have clarity. So I'm so open for input. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Linda. I've had many conversation about the whole Christianity thing. I will start with that because Jesus never set out to start a religion. Jesus never set out to start Christianity. Jesus just wanted to show people that there's a better way, and that way is by seeing the Christedness, the light of God in everyone and in everything, including ourselves. And so, I feel like Jesus was not in a box. I mean, he was Jewish, but he didn't fit in that box either. So there's that. That's the beginning thing. And the extended thing about the healing of the past. I have to ask myself when the past comes up, especially the things that there was resentment around, is why am I hanging on to it? What is the purpose that it's serving for me to hang on to that resentment? And why am I looking outside of myself for peace? So, and I ask myself that often. I mean, stuff still comes up. Stuff still comes up even after doing this work for the last 10 years. Stuff still comes up that I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even know that was a thing in my mind, right? And so how can I work with it, Lord? How can I guide me as to what the healing path is? What am I to forgive myself for in this situation in order to come to peace with it? And so I don't feel like it's a bad thing or a good thing to look to the past. If it's coming up in my mind, it's coming up for healing. And if I take that opportunity as an opportunity for healing and for my expansion and growth into more love, then what's the problem with that? I hope that makes a little bit of sense for you, Linda.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. My mind's like, wow, what am I to forgive myself in this situation? I wrote that down, like that's really helpful. And yet there's resistance.
Oh, yeah.
And I know what it is. I guess the best, if I could explain it just generically, because Betty has, I've done some counseling work with Betty, and she said something to me more recently that was extraordinarily helpful. So I'm going to share it with the group because it might help someone else. I'm telling her of some egregious behaviors, and she listens to the story. And the next call, she said, okay, in this call, we're going to drop the labels. So you don't get to call your husband this label, and you don't get to call yourself this label. We're just going to talk about two people. Wow. That was created a huge shift. And I'm sticking to that no labels. So yeah, even when my friend said about New Age, I thought, wow, I just got a label. and I just got put in a box. And my friend just separated us.
Yes.
When in fact, at the end of the day, we really believe in, I don't think there's a single person on this call who believes everything exactly the same way in terms of our relationship with spirit or forgiveness or Jesus or Mary or Buddha or anything else. I think we all have our own interpretations. How can we not? Because we're different people. But I do think we have some general ideas of forgiveness. So where I have the resistance on the forgiveness, or even that beautiful question about peace, is I am apparently always the problem. So, oh,
You are also the solution.
yeah. Wow. How does that work?
Yeah. And that, I mean, that is exactly what he's talking about. That is exactly what forgiveness to destroy is about, is anything that is separating you, comparing you, making you different than anybody else, anything else, is to destroy. It's an ego attempt to destroy.
And sometimes religions can serve as a way to a path to clarity, because I've been trying to fit into this religion for a couple years now, and I just have had to accept I don't, and I can't, and I'm not even going to try anymore. But it brought up so many questions about their belief system, and I had to say, well, wait a minute, is that true? Is that really the truth? Like, for instance, they think by doing service work for others, you earn these blessings, they call them, which I say are points to heaven, gets them to heaven faster. So it made me examine my own belief system at a deeper level than I would have otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Jesus says right at the beginning of the course that it's not the only path. So, they're making their way, their path to heaven in the way that affords them understanding of it. So, judging them as doing it wrong isn't going to do us any good either, because then there's a judgment, something else we have to forgive, right? So
yeah. And I want to say, Linda, in this case with my friend, it just took me aback, but I already have a pretty good understanding of her spiritual beliefs.
yes.
And they're beautiful, and she's happy, and this brings her clarity. And so I'm not in any place to judge that. I had some guests stay with me who were Jewish, and one couple in particular told me the most beautiful stories, and it was such a faith journey. I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
this path of Judaism is really cool. It's not my personal experience, but the way that they were describing was no different really than the work that we're doing. But I just want to go back to, you said, so if I'm the problem and I'm to blame for another person's actions, can you help me understand how I'm the solution?
Yes,
because I'm hoping this question helps someone else.
Oh, absolutely.
Many people.
Yeah. Well, first of all, because there's only one, which is in and of itself a concept that is very challenging to wrap my mind around a lot of times. There's only one. So I am you, you are me. You know, it's that I am the walrus, cuckoo, cuckoo. um, so there's only one. So there's that. But the problem is really only in our mind. This world is not real. And so if we can change our mind about the problem and see it as, this is just another learning opportunity. Oh, and that brings up the, here it is, from our lesson today, which is a review of 193, where all things are lessons God would have me learn. A lesson is a miracle which God offers to me in place of thoughts I made that hurt me. What I learn of him becomes the way I am set free. And so I choose to learn his lesson and forget my own. So that is how we are also the solution to all of our problems. We created them, and our ego is so fond of its creations, and that's okay. But we can let go of the attachment to them and be willing to free ourselves, free our minds, and go in a different direction, the direction towards peace and truth and love. So I hope that's helpful. Thank you so much, Linda.
Yeah, thank you, Linda. There's one layer deeper, but I don't want to share it in a recording. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And thank you, Deborah, for your input as well. So Fabiola, Leslie, and then Kathleen.
Hi. Yeah, it is helpful to me. The question that Linda Kay asked, and also what you said, Linda, and how, I mean, I can relate with Linda and how am I responsible for what another does, but, you know, again, we're projecting. And I mean, I can relate completely because something came up here in my, in the house. Again, for healing. It came up before and I was angry and I pushed it down and I did not work with it. And I could not see it as a gift. And yesterday, I think there was a class with Jennifer and she said, it is a gift to you. And I'm like, oh my God, it is. So then, yeah, like this, I believe in paragraph 4, it might be the answer to your question, Linda, because it spoke to me, and it's I'm gonna read it. Okay, here is the goal. Here the goal is to separate from God the son he loves and keep him from his thirst. This goal is also sought by those who seek the role of martyr at another's hand. Here must the aim be clearly seen, for this may pass as meekness and as charity instead of cruelty. Is it not kind to be accepting of another's spite and not respond except with silence and a gentle smile? Behold, how good are you who bear with patience and with saintliness the anger and the hurt another gives, and do not show the bitter pain you feel. And to me, like I made a note that was so clear example of what forgiveness to destroy is, and I've chosen to do that. And there I thought maybe an answer for Linda. about not talking about what hurts us and just keep silent and blah blah blah, because I find that it doesn't heal the hurt, the pain. We are not facing uh, the false belief that is rooted and it's in the past. So, not, I mean, it's good to be able to let go of the past, but sometimes I feel we have to talk about it and face it. That's what I found for myself with this situation that came up once again. And I mean, I experienced anger. I'm still not at peace, but I can see at least that is coming up for me to look at it again, or it's gonna keep coming up. And I did a session yesterday with Beth, and it was very helpful because I found that this thing that I must be somehow creating at some level has a rooted problem in my childhood that I did not uh, that it's sticky. I believe that I haven't healed, that is shaken over, and that I it is for my benefit to work on it.
Thank you, Fabi.
Can
Yeah.
I say thank you to
Yes.
Fabi? That, wow, we're going to talk. It has occurred to me that the things that appearing, you know, abuse, infidelity, it's my childhood trauma. It's just a repeat of my childhood. And I have a lot of childhood trauma. It's not a competition, but I've kind of covered the main areas where people typically have trauma. And I sometimes just, in my not well mind, I just simply have a lot of confusion about what if this is mine, and am I imagining this is happening? Am I and there are things that are probably very black and white to other people, but mine has progressed to the state of such ambiguity of like, I don't know what things are real, especially when I'm told that I don't remember things properly. Oh, you have mental illness, so you don't remember things. You don't see things. You don't know. And now I didn't used to have an issue with that. Now it's like, wait a second, maybe am I making, I'm second guessing on things I don't think I would normally be second guessing. And also, Fabi, thank you for the acknowledgement of, because we may have not talked about certain things or resolved things within a discussion, I often feel I don't have a voice.
Mm.
I'm not a shy person, and I do know how to speak up, but within this particular context, my voice isn't heard or listened to, or I don't know. And again, the confusion is in there, so I'm not having clarity. But whatever that chakra is where your throat is, yeah, I think that one's, yeah, I think we all know what it feels like to hold things in and stuff them. But the accumulation of stuffing is a good way to get yourself some kind of disease or unhealthy body or mind. And I think I'm a good example of that. And I don't mean that in a blaming way, but I can just look at it objectively and see how that pattern has not necessarily been helpful to bringing me peace. So thank you. Thank you, Fabi. That was awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Linda Kay, and thank you, Fabi. And yeah, holding you both. We all have our stuff, so just loving you through it. Leslie, and then Kathleen.
Good afternoon, everyone. Glad to be here. Glad to see you, Carla. Missed you. Well, Fabi, you stole my paragraph that I was going to read, but that's okay. I will just read the next one. And I just want to say that Cindy Renard, her second book on forgiveness, if anybody really wants to go deeper with this, is fantastic. I mean, my intention was to read a section of her book before this call, and I just didn't get to it. But if I can recall correctly, basically the biggest problem we all have is that we think we separated from God. No matter what problem we have, that's what's causing us to have problems, that we think we separated from God. And that's what all forgiveness to destroy has to do with, is thinking that we separated from God. And I think when we get to the next section, forgiveness for salvation, that's going to be the juicy one, because that teaches us what true forgiveness is. And as Cindy reminds us, it's that nothing ever happened in the first place. Whatever we think our grievances against ourselves or someone else, it never really happened. It's just a dream. And she admits that on a I guess could say fake world level. It seems very hard and it seems very real. And that's why we're learning and that's why we're growing. But let me just read, I guess I'll just read. And Linda, you stole my first stuff I was going to talk about was at the end of the chapter, but I'll just go ahead and read. I think I'll read paragraph 5. I also like paragraph 6, but these are just more examples of forgiving to destroy. We'll often hide behind a cloak like this. It shows the face of suffering and pain in silent proof of guilt and of the ravages of sin. And to me, that's saying in silent proof that we separated from God. Such is the witness that it offers one who could be savior, not an enemy. But having been made enemy, he must accept all guilt and heavy laid reproach that thus is put upon him. Is this love? Or is it rather treachery to one who needs salvation from the pain of guilt? Who could the purpose be except to keep the witnesses of guilt away from love? I mean, all these are just examples of what not true forgiveness is. So I thought it was a really good reminder, and I'm excited to read the next section. I just want to share a really fun, quick story. I was at Target. I'm not a huge Target shopper. I mean, I'm just not, I don't shop that often, So when I go, it's like I get very, like I need to keep the blind. I have my list, but I get kind of distracted by things just because I don't shop that much. Well, I needed measuring cups were on the list, and so was the lemon press because I'm really into lemon water right now. I was in the kitchen section where all the gadgets are. I swear to God, there was not a lemon press there. I was present. I looked at every spot, no lemon press. I didn't lose my pace. Okay, I don't need a lemon press. Got these measuring cups that I liked, did the rest of my shopping. And then I was on the other end of the aisle I was at, and they had these different measuring cups. And I'm like, oh, those are really cute and they're green. And oh, I like those better. So I'm going to get those. And then I'm like, I started to put the first measuring cups back where the green ones were, not where they belonged. And I said to myself, Leslie, don't be such a lazy ass. Just go put them back where they belong, So I just went straight down the aisle where I had gotten them. I left my cart and everything. I just walked straight down the aisle, ran smack into the middle of a lemon press. I could not believe it. I'm like, really, God? Wow, this is what integrity and doing the right thing is all about, I guess. But I personally think my angel put it there for me because I looked everywhere and it was bright yellow. I don't know how I could have missed it. So I just thought it was a fun little thing of doing the right thing because I just wanted to be lazy and just put it where it didn't belong. And I'm like, oh, okay, God, I will put it in the right spot. And then I was rewarded. So it was fun. That's my fun little share. So now I have a beautiful lemon press that I love.
That's cool. Leslie, I love your stories. Thank you. Go ahead, Kathleen.
Well, I just had this experience yesterday with yelling at somebody and finding out that this person probably left the hypodermic needle outside my house in order to make my guy that works at my house look bad. And he's got all this vendetta going against this young man who's working in the park. And so I went over to this house yesterday to help these people move in. And instead of Jonathan, who was hired to do the job, it was Keith, the guy that's wacko and who is trying to make it seem to everyone in the park like this guy Jonathan is ripping him off. And so in my mind, I am lambasting Keith. I'm just like, I'm standing in front of these people saying you shouldn't let him in. He's got a history of being a sex offender. He shouldn't be in this house. I shut the door in his face and locked it, but he came around the back and he starts saying, Kathleen, I have pictures that show Jonathan put a hypodermic needle by her. And I just said, you're lying, really loud. And then I just kept yelling no in his face. No, no, no. And I just backed up and left. Well, they were all there. Jonathan never did get to come back. They were all there for about 5 hours, moving these people who I love into this home. They used to live here and they just moved back. But my own experience, then I went to a drum circle, you know, I could instantly hear the divine alarm clock going boom, 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 boom. The only reason I think that I might have yelled at him now after talking to a friend of mine is to give him a message to don't come and fuck with me, because he lives in my neighborhood. And last night was the first night living here that I felt scared. I felt like this guy might come and get me because he's crazy. I know he's got a mental illness, but he's always been just kind of a big guy. And I don't feel so bad at yelling no, like I don't want to hear your lies. No, don't bother me. No. But then afterwards I'm like, okay, oh geez Louise, this is perfect for forgiveness to destroy, because I'm trying to get through the stages of forgiving him and forgiving myself. And it was just like, just write down what it says all through here. Okay, I can forgive him. Okay, I can forgive him. No, that's not it. Okay, I could put the face of Christ on him. I couldn't get there till this morning. You know, it felt very different about the whole situation this morning than I did last night. Last night I was like really still angry at him and feeling bad for Jonathan, this young man who's homeless with his wife and kid, and why this man is attacking him. I think he's jealous that Jonathan's getting work in the park. Anyway, I'm figuring it all out, right? And then I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not supposed to figure it out. I'm supposed to turn it over to God and I don't know the meaning of anything. And there's all kinds of stuff going on in all of their spiritual paths that's none of my business. And my place is to really forgive the situation. And I did wake up feeling like it never happened. And like, but I feel sick. I have an infection in my lymph nodes. And last night I was thinking of writing, I feel like I've been infected with fear, because I haven't felt fear in a while. To actually feel like I locked my door when I left. I haven't locked my door in 7 years. When I leave this house, I just go and then come back, and I lock my door at night. So I locked my door to go out last night, and I'm thinking, man, you know, fear's got me a little bit. Fear's got me. And I don't know if fear still got me a little bit or not. But I do want to do these steps of forgiveness for myself for creating this situation, and then to turn it over to God to tell me, do I have any further role here, or do I just like avoid this guy, never have any interactions again, but pray for him on the level of my mind, pray for his mind. And his sister and mother, they all live here. They have 3 houses in our little tiny mobile home park. So anyway, it's a big opportunity to just to know that I'm safe, number one. It's like talking to my friend at the drum circle. He's like, I'll go talk to the guy and I'll bring 10 guys. I'm like, thank you, Brian. It just makes me feel really safe. However, I need to feel strong and safe on my own. I know I'm strong and safe. I know nothing can happen to me. I mean, no. So anyway, it was just a really pristine example of what I knew we were going to be reading today. And I was doing forgiveness to destroy for a while. And then moving into forgiveness, more like the last paragraph, just to fill up my heart with love for myself. And forgive myself for yelling in front of all these people. And they were so confused. They didn't know is there a good guy or a bad guy in here? You know, they didn't know anything. So, and then to send him love and pray for the healing of his mind, and his sister supporting him in his lies, which are lies. So there's nothing I can do about him lying. So anyway, thanks for listening. It was just really good to hear all of you talking about forgiveness.
Thank you, Kathleen. I'm so glad that you took care of yourself in a moment when you weren't feeling safe by locking your door. Like, I don't feel like that was giving into fear. I feel like that was taking care of yourself and allowing yourself to go to drum circle and, you know, have that space to express in a healthier way the emotions that you were feeling and the entanglement that, you know, of the whole situation. And just knowing that he was acting out of fear as well. I mean, what he was doing was also a cry for love. You know, obviously he's afraid that Jonathan's going to be taking money out of his pocket or whatever by taking the work away from him. So yeah, just allowing you and him to remain innocent in all of this, knowing that we're having a human experience and sometimes our human emotions are messy.
And then I thought about writing to the board about him, and then I thought about posting it on the Facebook page. You know, I'm looking for good outside light because I'm not feeling safe, and having everyone know in the park that somebody's around that's not safe. And I thought, no, that's more forgiveness to destroy. I'm not doing it. I'm not putting it out there, but I might talk to the board about the syringe I found in my yard, but I don't have any proof who put it there.
Right. And
Yeah.
honestly, even if it was Jonathan's, which I don't get the sense that it was either, even though I don't know him at all. You know, he is also an innocent child of God, whether he is using syringe or not. And so,
Keith.
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to wait for guidance to say whether I should talk to the board about any of this. I don't know. Not yet. I might talk to someone who used to be on the board and ask them their advice.
Yeah. Yeah. They may have some insights for you. I'm just knowing that Spirit's going to speak to you and through you, and that all will be resolved beautifully, and that you will feel safe and strong and confident, just as you have always been.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Kathleen.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right. Anybody have any last thing they'd like to share before we close?
I just to say that I can see how many times I did forgiveness to destroy, and I literally wrote fuck, that word fuck, in number 6,
Yes.
where there is this example that says, I will forgive you if you meet my needs, for in your slavery is my release. Say this to anyone and you are a slave. And I've done that so many times, and particularly with my husband.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, I kind of had the same reaction with that paragraph, because I felt the same way, that I absolutely have had put that on my husband. And it's like it's like a pain in your heart when you realize that you've done that to someone that you absolutely love. Yeah. But we're changing our minds and we're changing our actions through that. Yeah. Love you, Fabi. Thank you. Mary Lee, bring us home, girl.
Well, I had a thought quite a few minutes ago that there's a poem that I was reminded of when I was hearing different shares. And I can't give you the poet's name. Perhaps one of you know it or have heard the poem. But basically, I was thinking how sometimes we have such an urgency for peace within ourselves. We want to be peaceful about something. We don't know the answer. Something has happened to us that has broke our peaceful feeling, as some has shared, and we all get that. And the poem is short and goes something like this. I was thinking it was Rumi,
yes.
Rumi, but it may be someone else, I'm not sure. But basically, perhaps one day, gradually, without even realizing it, you will live your way to the answer. And I'm feeling that in different ways of striving to be patient. Sometimes we would like to know the answer and what's different between, what Linda Kay was saying, and, how can I make this right? Or how can I feel forgiveness for something different ones have said. And it just reminded me that I can look back on some wars that I have been through in this life. And I look back and I think, I lived my way into the answer of that particular confrontation or distress. And I thought I would just add that.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you, Mary Lee.
I had that poem on my refrigerator for years. That's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to look for it after our class.
Yeah. Thank you. Please share it next week if you can, Mary Lee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that'd be great. So next week we are going to continue in the Song of Prayer, chapter 2, section 3, forgiveness for salvation. I cannot wait for the salvation to come. So I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday and talking about that. So I'm going to read from the Pathways of Light Insights for today's lesson, which is a review of lesson number 213, a review of lesson 193. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. All things are lessons God would have me learn. It seems most of the lessons we learn in life are learned from pain. Our lessons teach us what we don't want to do in order to avoid pain more than what we do want to do to experience happiness. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? Oh my God. With this as our history, the statement, all things are lessons God would have me learn, can easily carry the connotation that God's lessons are painful. But this interpretation is simply our own projection of the past. God's lessons are miracles that free us from our self-taught lessons of pain. God would have us learn lessons that lead us out of pain. Yet the ego whispers and sometimes proclaims loudly that God's lessons require sacrifice. The ego would want us to believe we must give up what is valuable if we are to learn of God. From the ego's perspective, this is correct, because what the ego values is really nothing, meaningless. If we are to experience what is truly meaningful, the love of God, we do have to give up our investment in the empty promises of specialness offered by the ego. And I think of specialness as separation, period. But we give up nothing in order to gain everything. This the ego does not tell us, because when we give up the desire for specialness, we give up the ego. Without our investment in the values of the ego, it has no power, no substance. The ego's only control over us comes from our attachment to the ego's teachings. We are not asked to give up this attachment in one gut-wrenching battle in which we all think it is important, is ripped from what is important is ripped from our clutching hands. Rather, every moment is offered gently and lovingly as a lesson from God, in which we learn to see what is valueless and what has true value. This is the miracle, the transformed perception. When we recognize what is valueless, there is no sense of loss in laying it down. It is done with happy laughter, for we already see the joyous alternative God has offered in its place. Today, I resign as my own teacher. I choose to learn God's lessons, that I may be free to live in his love and peace. Thank you, everybody. Next week, salvation. Have a good week, everyone. I love you.
Love you too.
Bye for now.
Bye.